My name is Tom Ebo.
My name is Lewis and I'm doing the foundation degree in Games Art and Design.
My name is Anne-Marie Cook.
I'm here and I'm a foundation degree student in games design.
My name is Kynan Burton.
My name is Alicia and I'm also a foundation degree student in games design.
My name is Katie Ringer.
We went to South Korea at the start of the summer, and it was a trip that we did with Challenges Abroad.
So we had a fantastic opportunity to go to South Korea with all the foundation degree students. So we was able to fully embrace ourselves into the South Korean culture. We was able to eat their food. We went to the markets. These guys did. They fully embraced themselves and eating every typical food that South Korea had to offer. We also was able to sort of embrace the traditional culture by visiting the dynasty temples and dressing up in their traditional clothing, which was good.
The trip came about via a company called Challenges Abroad, and they offer trips, sort of funded trips to people in education to experience different cultures and sometimes help people in these countries, or just to explore and get a good experience and understanding of the way they live.
When we were in Korea, we did a few workshops. There was a pottery workshop where we tried a wheel out and made pottery out of clay. We painted, we then chose like certain designed pottery to paint. We also did a leather workshop where we made either a card holder or a wallet, and that was very fun.
One of the workshops we did was the pottery workshop, and so we did some carvings, like paintings on this like already model, and then we left them to cool off or heat off. That was really good.
We did 2 workshops when we were in Seoul, and one of them was the ceramic workshop, which is something that we're interested in and that we've done in college. And it was from a master ceramicist that's won awards in South Korea, and we had things to bring home with us then, so we glazed a few items and then they delivered it to the hotel for us to bring back. And then we had another workshop working in leather, so we made and stitched card holders, and we brought those home with us too.
The workshops we did, the first one was a pottery workshop where we visited this Korean man in his studio. He showed us how he makes his pots, and he whips up these pots. He did one in front of us in about 5 minutes, really big scale. That was so interesting to see. And then we had a chance to go on the wheels ourselves, do some throwing, and also decorated some pots that we have brought home with us and now have to keep forever. The leather workshop, we went and visited a lady in her studio, and she makes items, bags, wallets, quite a lot of different things, luggage tags, out of leather, and gave us an introduction into that, which I'd never done before, and it was really enjoyable. I would definitely do it again. I made a little card holder / purse thing, and it was, I love it.
My name is Maria Retta, and I'm the head of school for creative arts. There were so many experiences I could talk about South Korea. I think the first thing and the first experience that springs to mind was getting there. The travel was like nothing I'd experienced. I haven't travelled that far before, and it was intense. It was enjoyable to get to see lots of different things, to experience even just the different cultures on the plane. That was something different in itself. stopping off in the different airports and getting to see another culture yet again.
If I could pick one experience, it'd be the handcrafting of throwing, and that was our first day over there. We were throwing on the table to build ceramic pieces. I came up with really great results, and I was pleased to have the people who were teaching us new skills to be complimented by them, and it felt right to learn more of this technique, what I would like to study more over here to improve that skill, so everyone would see that how much of a great skill it is to have in this world. From every other day, every day better than this last. From going on the subway to going to new places, getting lost, being stuck on the subway, it all felt. It was just a different place. Everyone was very kind, very quiet.
The best experience for me was probably going to the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. It was just like, you just learned so much about the history, and parts of it was quite sad, but like, it was just a great experience. And when we went to the palace, we wore hanboks, which is the traditional clothing, and we all looked great.
I think that biggest learning curve when we were there, or that I felt, was the difference in the culture, the difference in the art, the high-tech side of their artwork, but also traditional and historical artwork as well. It was really interesting in the museums to see how things had been invented and made for thousands of years there and still used in everyday life. Yeah.
In South Korea, I felt I learned about a completely different culture. The way they do things in South Korea is completely different here. There's different things expected of you. There's like the way you act, for example, and just basic things in the morning, like being able to go outside and there's like a million convenience stores and things like that. It's just, I don't know, you just realise a different kind of way of life, and yeah, it was just really interesting.
I think I was just really impressed with the level of cleanliness of South Korea as well. I mean, yeah, the respect that they have for their own country. I don't think I've seen an element or drop of litter anywhere in the entire place that we went for the entire 2 weeks. So obviously in comparison to the UK, you walk down the street, you see litter sort of swarming the streets. So it is a very respectful country, and yeah, I was just very impressed.
The people were really good. The food, however, was very interesting. I tried chicken's feet for the first time, which is very spicy. I am not in a rush to try that again. However, I did like my first time trying crab and squid, which is very interesting.
There was lots of different experiences. Probably the one that sticks in my mind the most was dressing up in the hanok, a traditional outfit, and visiting one of the palaces in the main city of Seoul, and it was a fantastic day, and everybody dressed up and walked around the palaces and took lots of photographs.
And I think for me what stands out the most is there were some areas that were so high tech. We had robots clearing away our tables, but then there were other areas where we would go into food markets and they were selling pig's foots, and they had octopus and God knows what in tanks that they were just cooking alive. There just seemed to be such opposites.
The culture was very Asian, but a mishmash really of North America, it reminded me of, because a lot of the city had been rebuilt after the Korean War, so there was a lot of new high-tech type of places, buildings and artwork in the centre of very traditional and Korean buildings. The markets were very traditional Asian, busy and different and interesting.
About the culture, they're very into their culture. They keep a lot of their standing buildings, like we went to a royal temple. There was so much over there that we could have experienced with culture. Everywhere we went, there was always something that had a meaningful history towards it. It felt amazing being an experience with their culture, even dressing up as their uniforms, what they used to wear back then. Very hot, very hot. But overall, the culture was a very different expectation, and it felt amazing to be part of it.
It was such a great experience for the learners, again, to experience all those different cultures, to go somewhere they probably wouldn't have thought of going before, and to have a guide to take us around, to show us all those places. Lots of the learners had done lots of research, and a lot of the learners could already speak some basic Korean, which was really, really helpful. And they taught us quite a bit too while we were there, downloading certain apps to translate menus, to translate people speaking. It was a real learning curve for us all.
Yeah, I found the culture very interesting, how they eat their food sort of all together. It's more of an experience, family, well, not necessarily just family, but a together experience with their eating, and yeah, lots of dishes to sort of share, and rather than you order your one piece and that's yours, sort of dip in and out, which was very good and lovely to experience. The markets, sort of food markets, they were really amazing. I've never really been to anything like that before. Sort of massive stores, and they'll cook the food straight in front of you, and you can see how they do it.
I would say there were two things that stuck out for me as sort of long-lasting impressions of South Korea. One is the cicadas. You've never heard anything like it in your life. Sometimes when we were walking down the road, we couldn't actually hear each other talking because they were that loud. And the other thing was the lack of crime. There seemed to be so much trust. People leaving their mobile phones on tables or at central charging points in cafes, people leaving their laptops. There just seemed to be no crime.
Even though a bit of disability, I loved taking the pictures and videos from that height where we did the hike in Seoul. That was amazing.
Just a funny story.
Alright, so did anything funny happen? Open to anyone who wants to answer.
So we went to Busan and we went to the beach, and we were just swimming in the ocean, and then out of nowhere there was giant waves and I got sucked under, and then I stood up and my glasses were gone, and then I had to have Maria found me some Korean child's glasses, and I just wore those the rest of the trip.
She's a bit clumsy. It was so interesting anyway. I loved exploring, trying different foods. I'd say all in all, it was all very insightful and enjoyable.
The experience for me was a huge learning curve in every possible way.
The trip was breathtaking. It was a lifetime experience for me as a filmmaker. It's given me some more ideas I didn't dream possible, and I can't wait to take what I've got from this trip into my films.
The experience was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to go through this with peers on the course and also people on the other course. It was very enjoyable spending time with everyone and going through such a big culture change.
The experience was a brilliant experience and very busy, but worthwhile, definitely.
Okay, how I would summarise South Korea is just once in a lifetime opportunity.
The experience was amazing.
The South Korean trip was probably the best experience I've ever had, and yeah, it was nothing but fun.
To sum it up in a single word, hot.
The South Korea trip was definitely a dream come true.
The trip was a one-off experience which I will never forget.
The trip was really hot.
The experience was challenging in many ways, but overall it was literally an amazing trip and it was awesome.
Hamburger.